Hello everyone, welcome back to the NCERT series Class 7 Polity. So today we are going to discuss about a very important topic for your UPSC examination, that is equality in Indian democracy. Okay, so now why is this topic important for you? Equality is one of the foundational principles of democracy. Without it, the very idea of democracy would fall apart. You will see this concept repeatedly in your syllabus, whether it is in your polity GS paper 2 or your ethics paper or even in your essay paper. So make sure you pay close attention to everything we discussed today, because this is not just theory, it is essence of how a democracy functions also. Okay. So first off, let's understand equality. In simple terms, if we explain equality, equality means treating everyone the same regardless of no matter who they are, where they come from or what they believe in. It is a principle that no one should be discriminated against based on caste, religion, gender or wealth. Okay, so equality ensures that everyone gets the same opportunities to succeed. Okay, for example, think of a classroom. Imagine if only the top students got the best books and extra attention from the teacher and the rest were just ignored. That would be unfair, right? Okay, so that is what inequality looks like in a society. But equality ensures that everyone, regardless of their background, gets the same chance to learn and grow. Hope that's clear. Now let's understand inequality. Where equality is considered ideal, inequality is the reality many face. Inequality means an unequal distribution of resources, opportunities or rights. Okay. So in India, caste-based inequality has been one of the major social issues. Historically, certain castes were given privileges while others were marginalized, limiting their access to education, resource and jobs. This system of inequality violates the human dignity. Okay, so for example, let's take Dalit communities as an example. Okay, so who were traditionally considered lower caste. Often they were not allowed to access public spaces like temples, wells, and this practice of exclusion directly harmed their dignity. So this shows how inequality can deeply affect one's self-respect and opportunities. Okay, so now let's discuss about what are the factors that leads to inequality. That's very important. Okay, first off is poverty, because lack of resources creates a particular divide and in opportunities for education, health and employment. Okay, and also about discrimination. There's caste discrimination, there's gender discrimination there's also discrimination based on religion. Okay, so these are significant factors that further perpetuate inequality. Okay, so for example, let's take a child from a poor family. That particular child may not have access to the same quality of education as a child from a wealthier background, so further perpetuating inequality in opportunities. Okay, so let's look at the constitutional provisions for equality. Indian constitution has some strong provisions for to protect equality, and these are important to remember for your examination. Okay, so Article 14. Article 14 guarantees equality before law. It means that everyone is equal in the eyes of law and no one is above or below it. Okay, so whether you are a billionaire or a daily wage labor, if you break the law, the punishment is the same. That's what it means. Okay, then Article 15 prohibits discrimination based on religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. Okay, so for example, no school or public institution can deny admission to someone just because they belong to a particular caste or gender. Clear? Next is Article 16. So Article 16 ensures equal opportunity in public employment. The government cannot discriminate when hiring for jobs. Okay, a government job cannot be reserved exclusively for people of a particular religion or a caste. That's what it means. Article 17. It abolishes untouchability. It is a criminal offense to practice untouchability in any form. Okay. Article 18. It abolishes titles like Raja, Nawab, Sir, and all that. This means that no one can claim special privileges based on royal title in modern India. Okay, so together these articles, that is Article 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18, 14 to 18 ensures that equality is not just a theoretical idea but a living principle in India's democracy. Clear? Let's look at political equality. Okay. So now one of the most important aspects of equality is political equality. India ensures this through universal adult suffrage. Okay. So this means that every citizen, once they turn 18, has the right to vote regardless of their caste, religion or wealth. For example, in our elections, whether you are a farmer, you are a doctor or a business tycoon, your vote count is still the same. This is the true essence of democracy. One person, one vote and each vote has equal value also. Okay. So this idea of political equality was revolutionary when India adopted in 1950. Okay, back then many countries around the world still didn't give everyone the right to vote, especially women and marginalized communities. Okay, hope that's clear. The next is midday meal scheme. Okay, let's talk about one of the most significant government initiative to promote equality, the midday meal scheme. This particular scheme provides free lunches to children in government schools, addressing both nutritional needs and educational inequality. Okay. So it helps to break the caste barrier because children from different social backgrounds sit and eat together, promoting social harmony. It also encourages school attendance by ensuring that the children from poor families have at least one nutritious meal a day. Okay, so it also studies have also shown that the scheme has improved the health of children and helped reduce stunning, a measure of chronic malnutrition. Okay, and there's also a study which found that midday meal scheme contributed to 13 to 32% improvement in children's health for age scores between 2006 and 2016. Okay, so this shows how the scheme not only promotes education but also physical well-being also. Okay. The Tamil Nadu government was the first to introduce the scheme, and today it is implemented across India. In many states, school attendance rate has increased significantly because of this initiative, directly contributing to a greater equality in education. Clear? So while our constitution guarantees equality, the reality on the ground often shows persistent inequalities, particularly based on caste, gender, religion, and economic status. Okay. So while markets provide opportunities for people to work and earn, they also create economic inequality. Wealthy individuals or corporations control most resources, while the poor are often dependent on them for loans, jobs, and raw materials. Okay, and one way to reduce this inequality is through cooperatives. A cooperative allows small producer to come together and share resources and profits, reducing their dependence on large corporations. Okay. The next one is caste-based inequality. One of the most deep-rooted forms of inequality in India is based on caste system. Despite legal safeguards, the caste-based discrimination continues to affect people's access to education, employment, and social mobility. Okay. Next is gender inequality. So gender inequality is it is an ongoing struggle, right? Okay, so even though our constitution grants equal rights to men and women, gender inequality remains a pressing issue. Women face discrimination in almost every aspect of life, education, employment, and even within the household itself. So there's a data that says that 3.6 percentage of working women in India are engaged in agriculture work, but their contribution is often unrecognized. They plant, weed, and harvest and all that, but men receive the majority of the credit and earnings. Okay, for example, women in rural areas often work as much as men in farming, but still expected to do all the household chores also. Okay, so this double burden keeps them economically dependent and socially marginalized. And there is also stereotypes. Gender roles are deeply ingrained in Indian society. It is often believed that household chores are the woman's responsibility, while men are expected to work outside the home. So these stereotypes prevent women from achieving full equality, whether in rural or in urban settings. Okay. There are certain legal provisions that the government has enacted laws like Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 and the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013. Now, okay, so these provide legal protection to women. These laws are crucial for ensuring that women are not subjected to abuse or exploitation. Okay, so the government has tried to address this with programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Badhao, which focus on improving sex ratio and education for girls also. Okay, the next is women's movement in India. Okay, the women's movement in India has been a continuous struggle for gender equality, with milestones ranging from fighting for women's right to education to laws protecting women from domestic violence and workplace harassment. Okay, some key figures in women's movement are Rash Sundari Devi. Okay, so she is one of the first Indian women to write an autobiography named Amar Jiban at the age of 60. She taught herself to read and write in secret, thus defying the societal norms of her time. Okay, so her autobiography is a remarkable example of self empowerment. Okay, next is Ramabai. So she is a social reformer and an educationalist who found the Mukti mission, helping widows and destitute women become literate and financially independent. Okay, the next one is Raukia Shaukat Hossain. She is a Bengal feminist. She imagined a world where women are empowered and free in her famous work, Sultan's Dream. She envisioned a utopia called Lady Land, where women run everything. Okay, so these women laid groundworks for modern day policies like 2006 Domestic Violence Act and 1997 Ushaga guidelines for preventing sexual harassment at workplace. The role of Anganwadi centers in social equality. Let's now discuss the Anganwadi centers. These centers are part of the Integrated Child Development Service Scheme, ICDS scheme, Integrated Child Development Scheme, and they play a critical role in reducing social inequality. Okay, so they provide early childhood education, nutritional support for children, and maternal care for pregnant women and all that. So these centers help children from poor families get the same start in life as those from the wealthier families. So imagine a child in a poor rural family who doesn't get enough food at home. Okay, so the Anganwadi centers provides that particular child with a nutritious meal every day, ensuring they grow up healthy and ready for school. Okay. The next is health and healthcare inequality. So, health is a critical component of equality. Without access to healthcare, true equality is impossible, right? So, there are further challenges in healthcare like the urban-rural divide. So, most healthcare facilities and doctors are concentrated in urban areas. So, thus leaving the poor population undeserved. Okay, for example, rural India still struggles with issues like tuberculosis, around 5 lakh deaths annually, and malaria, over 2 million cases per year. Okay, and there is also this problem, a challenge of undernutrition. Over 50% of children in India are undernourished, which affects their ability to learn and grow. Okay, so the solutions for these are what? The public health centers. Okay, so government funded hospitals and clinics provide free and affordable care, but more needs to be done to expand access to rural areas. Okay, and then private sector. The private sector often offers better service, but it's expensive, creating another layer of inequality. And then there is the Ayushman Bharat. It's just one initiative that aims to bridge this gap by providing free healthcare to poor families. It is one of the largest healthcare scheme in the world. Okay, so under the scheme, a poor family in a village can get medical treatment at a hospital in a city without worrying about the cost. Okay, the next is media, the fourth pillar of democracy. So, media plays a crucial role in shaping our understanding of equality. It acts as the fourth pillar of democracy, keeping a check on the government and educating the public and promoting equality by bringing injustice to light and all that. Okay, so the first pillar is legislature, which makes law. The second pillar is executive, which implements law. The third pillar is judiciary, which interprets the law. Okay, then there's a fourth pillar is the media, which keeps the other three in check. Okay, so as Thomas Carlyle said, the media is the watchdog of democracy. Okay, so its role is vital in ensuring transparency and accountability. Okay, so in this fight for gender equality, media coverage movements like Me Too has been instrumental in creating awareness and promoting legislative change. Okay, and also the Nirbhaya case in 2012, where an young woman was brutally assaulted in Delhi. It was widely reported by the media, leading to nationwide protest and subsequent legal reforms in laws related to crimes against women and all that. Okay, so however, media also faces challenges, including corporate ownership and political influence, which sometimes affect its independence and ability to report fairly. Okay, the Indian Constitution is a living document, meaning it can adapt to the changing needs of the society, which means we can amend it, right? This flexibility ensures that equality continues to evolve as society does. Okay, so for example, the 103rd constitutional amendment introduced 10% reservation for economically weaker sections. Okay, showing how constitution responds to modern day inequalities. It ensures that those who are financially disadvantaged but don't belong to traditionally reserved categories also get a fair chance. Okay, and as future bureaucrats and policymakers, you must understand that equality is not a finished project. It is an ongoing struggle that requires constant attention and action. The constitutional framework provides a solid base, but the economic, social, gender based inequalities that persist require continued efforts both from the government and civil society. Okay, for your UPSC examination, make sure to focus on the constitutional provisions from Article 14 to 18. Okay, then all the social movements, the current policies addressing inequalities. So questions on equality could appear in GS2, Polity, Ethics, and even in your essay paper. So having a deep understanding is very crucial. Okay, make sure to revisit this lecture, revise the key points, and stay tuned for more lessons like this. Okay, good luck. Bye bye.